So far, we've been out at about 6 or 7 or 8 different stop-ins and events, shaking hands with voters. It's good to see all my friendly cameras here. Order something. The food here is great. Get a drink, get something. Get something. And we'll get started. As you know, this is a let go no. A big part of how we're trying to campaign is meeting every voter in the district, okay? So I'm always out, usually at restaurants, bars, or coffee shops, you name it, and we invite everybody to join us. Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, we make phone calls, we do whatever to try to encourage people to get out. It's the most important election in our country's history. Every Republican or Democrat running this year had better get in front of as many voters as they can. That's what I believe. I think that's what every voter should believe this year. So that's why we do a lot of this. We do have a month to go. The race between Walsh and Duckworth is really close, and it's probably going to stay really close. I went to our campaign office this morning with a cup of coffee as we began our day, and gosh, we had 60, 70 some people there by 9 o'clock in the morning getting ready to go out and walk for 4 or 5 hours. Came back to the office for a break about 2:30 or 3, and we had 30 people in there making phone calls. 30 live people in there making phone calls. Final thing I'll say, and then we'll open this up. I gave a speech yesterday, I'm forgetting who the group was, but I said we've got 30 days or so to go. Put your debates down, put your arguments down. Don't try to necessarily change or convert anybody a month away from the election. These last 30 days, it's all about knocking on doors, making phone calls, and talking to everybody you know to get them out to vote. It's that important. Both sides, whatever side you're on, it's a month to go. Now it's all about getting your people out to vote. That's what we're certainly focused on. That's what Mitt Romney's campaign ought to be focused on. The time for debating, the time for all of that's over. That's over. So I'm going to stop there. Remember, there are no rules when I come out like this, except one. Treat everybody with respect. Especially you. All right. Treat everybody with respect. The people filming me, treat them with respect. Treat every opinion with respect. Who's got a question or a thought about anything? Ladies first. You've got the floor. What's up?
Here's what I want to let you know. This new unemployment number, and I always have the radio on, and as soon as it came out, 7.8, the media is saying, this changes the face of the election, this isn't good for Romney. And what I thought, as I've been trying to understand, because there's all this criticism of the number, and people don't believe it, and it's a manipulated number, whatever, and they're saying, well, it's reflecting all these part-time jobs, whatever it is. What I thought was North Dakota has an unemployment number of something like 2.5.
Come on in. Keep going.
Okay.
Come grab a seat.
I don't know what it is, like around, I think it's like a little bit under 3%, North Dakota's unemployment. And we know that this is because of this energy boom, because they are drilling up there, which wouldn't have happened if Obama could have controlled it, from what I believe, from what I know. Because he wouldn't have wanted drilling in North Dakota. So, if that number, the unemployment number, because they do this by taking the average, the unemployment from each state, add it up and divide by 50. Take out that North Dakota number, and what's the unemployment
Well,
rate?
here's what I know, and here's what we all know. This is, in many ways, a jobless recovery. I wish the media did a better job. They don't, because generally everybody in the media likes Obama, they like the Democrats, big deal. But the other thing is the media doesn't inform and educate us enough. This country needs to create about 125,000 to 150,000 jobs a month just to keep up with population growth.
Well, what is a jobless recovery? That's an oxymoron.
Well, if we're not creating enough jobs to keep up with basic population growth, that's a jobless recovery. That's problematic. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What's the recovery, though? Where's the recovery?
Well,
in what? Where?
Well, exactly. Look, I wish this race between, I'll go my race. I wish this race between Walsh and Duckworth could be decided on this. Tammy Duckworth came out a month ago, and she said it again 2 weeks ago. She said, hear me out. She said, we are better off now than we were 4 years ago. She said it. Now, she had a tough decision to make. If I say we're not better off than we were 4 years ago, then I have to admit that what President Obama's done hasn't worked. But if I say we are better off than we were 4 years ago, then I risk seeming like I'm out of touch, because she's out of touch. Because here's what I know. Most people in my district, in this district, that we're both running for, we don't believe we're better off. We're paying twice what we paid for a gallon of gas 4 years ago. The value of our home is less than what it was 4 years ago. The value of our savings is less than what it was 4 years ago. Median household income is down from when the recovery started. Illinois just became the leader 2 weeks ago in foreclosures. Now maybe it's because I'm in this district every day of this campaign, meeting people, visiting business, talking to voters, and Tammy Duckworth doesn't do that. Tammy Duckworth spends more time around the country raising money from people who aren't voters here, so it's not surprising that she might think we're better off. Okay? This unemployment number, ask people in the district, what does that mean? Look, remember, we don't measure people who are working part-time because they can't find full-time work. That doesn't go into that number.
Right.
We don't measure people who have become so discouraged they've left the workforce. They're not even looking for work anymore. We don't count them. When you add up them, all of those people, your unemployment rate's 14 to 15%, and that didn't come down. When you look inside the numbers, which the media doesn't do enough, a lot of part-time jobs were created in September. A lot of people got part-time jobs in September because they couldn't find full-time work. Remember, guys, 114,000 jobs created in September. And I want to end with a really funny, interesting quote. I think the year was 2003 or 2004. I believe Nancy Pelosi was Speaker.
2007. She became Speaker.
Was it 2007?
2007. She became Speaker. She was elected.
Oh, then okay. So she wasn't. Got it. She wasn't Speaker yet. But in 2003 or 4. When she would have then been minority leader of the Democrats, the unemployment rate when Bush was president this month, whatever month it was like 4.9 or 5%. The jobs number came out. There were like 300,000 jobs created. Nancy Pelosi went on TV and complained about the lack of jobs. A jobless recovery. Can you imagine how excited this country would get now with 300,000 jobs created every month? I think Paul Ryan, somebody said it, we're living with this new normal. Obama's trying to fool us. We're living like 100,000 jobs were created, that's a good thing. You need to create 120 to 150 just to keep up with population growth. To grow, to have the economy really growing, you need 2, 3, 4, 500,000 jobs a month. We're not going to see that for ages. That's what I mean by a jobless recovery.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
This thing about being better off 4 years than we were 4 years ago. I just came from a meeting in Glenview, and I used to live in Glenview, and I was at that Hackney's, and I'm driving up streets I haven't been on for a while. But what I have to say is that 4 years ago, I would say 90% of the places that I drive by that have a for lease sign in them did not have a for lease sign in them 4 years ago.
Again, respectfully, Tammy Duckworth does not spend a lot of time in this district. You drive down a lot of streets in this district, they look like ghost towns. Hold on. For sale, for lease, out of business, up and down Elk Grove, Schaumburg, Addison, Bloomingdale, you name it.
Glenview.
Some of these depressing strip malls.
Prospect. Everywhere you go.
Yeah,
everywhere.
absolutely. And you know what? You want to know what's so
Your
sad?
district and everybody else's.
You want to know what's so sad about it is this. These are the people that make the country go. The small businessmen and women. And they're dying out there. Now, I suppose if you're President Obama and Tammy Duckworth, and you think Washington or government creates jobs, then maybe you got a different viewpoint. But I believe people out here create jobs, and businesses out here are dying. So if the election could come down to this, if you believe we're better off now than we were 4 years ago, vote for Tammy Duckworth. Vote for her with pride. If you don't believe we're better off, but you know we should be, I'm your guy. And we will win that race. Yes, ma'am.
I got a gazillion, but
Start with one. I got all day.
why can't we as a country say, okay, we're not going to let any more people in until so many people, I mean the whole world can't live in the United States.
Can the whole world live in the United States? You know, again, this is an issue that, you know, politicians don't like to talk about illegal immigration.
I don't care even legal immigration. Cut it off until so many people die, nobody else is coming in.
I will tell you, you've got good freedom-loving people from around the world who every year want to get into this country legally. Good, talented people from around the world. I want to make the process of legal immigration, enabling them to get into this country legally, I'd like to make that an easier process. We've got great, talented people from around the world who still yearn to come to this place. And I think it's become so cumbersome and expensive and time-consuming to get into this country legally. I think we need to streamline that and make it easier. The problem is, the people that create jobs in this country have a government that's working against them. We have a government, because of all the regulations and all of the taxes, we are just throwing on top of the heads of small businessmen and women. They're not growing and they're not hiring. That's what we have to change, period. President Obama doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand how people out here work.
Has he ever had a job?
Well, again, his philosophy is, when he said 3 months ago that you didn't build this, the owner of this restaurant didn't build this, and we all chuckled, okay? I hope a lot of us weren't surprised. It's what he believes. It's what he believes. It's what, you know, and look, this is one of the great issues of this campaign. It's what Tammy Duckworth believes. It's what most Democrats that I've met, good people, believe. They literally do believe that that thing called Washington can create jobs. It can make this country go. We I believe the exact opposite. I want a good small government, but I want you out of my hair. I want you out of my way because I believe the owner of this restaurant, oh good gosh, don't you